green lung of the planet. It's the largest tropical forest in the world after the Amazon. The African forest of the Congo Basin is a key issue for the climate and biodiversity. Among the 6 countries it covers, Gabon.
The Congo Basin represents 40 billion tons of sequestered CO2.
Tropical forests and their preservation were at the heart of the One Forest Summit. Co-organised by France and Gabon, this international conference gathered in Libreville political leaders, business leaders, scientists and NGOs from about 20 countries. This expert stresses that African forests are now at the forefront of the fight against climate change.
It's 10 years of global greenhouse gas emissions that are currently stored in the forests of the Congo Basin. In Gabon, it is 100 million tons per year.
Among the priority issues of the summit, financing. Gabon is one of the few countries to absorb more CO2 than it emits, and it would like to see its environmental efforts properly rewarded.
There are no better investments today than investing in our forests.
We have documented the reduction of 90 million tons of CO2 emissions. It has been validated scientifically, and the carbon credits were finally validated in November 2022 during the COP in Sharm el-Sheikh, COP27.
Gabon has put in place strong policies to defend the forests that cover 88% of its territory. We're only a few kilometres from Libreville. The Gabonese capital is surrounded by protected natural areas. The Pongara Park is one of the 13 national parks created 20 years ago to protect an exceptional flora and fauna. Among the species prohibited from exploitation, the kevazingo, a rare and expensive wood.
This is a species called kevazingo, which has enormous potential for loggers. The Asians use it illegally. So the government has made commitments to protect this tree.
Forest elephants, giant pangolins, lowland gorillas. The park is a refuge for many species threatened by illegal trafficking. But the guards in charge of their protection lack resources.
The biggest problem is poaching. Poaching of elephants, poaching of plant species, those who cut wood illegally, and there is poaching of fish species at sea level. As in all other parks, we need a lot of means to do our work well.
Outside the national parks, the exploitation of the forest through sustainable channels is another avenue explored by Gabon. 10 years ago, the country banned the export of raw logs in order to transform the wood locally into a product with higher added value. A third of the timber harvested in Gabon's forests passes through this special economic zone, which is exemplary in terms of sustainable management. The Nkok zone is home to some 100 companies, many of them related to the forest industry. A service called Tracer ensures that all timber that arrives here is legal.
We will check the documents related to the legal existence of the supplier, related to the supplier's access rights to the forest resources. Then our teams will go to the field to check the practices.
Launched 10 years ago, the Nkok Economic Zone has been certified as carbon neutral. Recently installed, this plant is the first in Central Africa to manufacture chipboard from wood waste.
When this zone was launched, we used 40% wood. Today we are able to use 90% of the logs through the valorization of waste.
Reconciling economic development and environmental protection is the challenge, as this country still depends on oil revenues.
In Gabon, an oil country, in the next 20 years or so, because the G20 countries have filled the atmosphere with CO2, there will no longer be a market for our oil. We will be forced to replace 50% of our economy with what? With something.
Sustainable management of tropical forests and financial support for exemplary countries. Commitments made in Libreville that remain to be implemented for the future.